Oi, oi, how is everyone doing? Oh, I've got a hell of a show planned for you guys today. Got a whole bunch of stuff to get through, but I've just spoken with my dad and he's just run off to go and do a couple of little bits and bobs. So we're going to play a couple of songs just to get us all ready, just to get us all in the mood. And we're gonna wait for my old man to come back. So let me get some bits and bobs in. But first, let me say hello to everyone. Hey, FMZ, how you doing? We've got Gamerlast, how you doing? We've got Smack Salad, I hope you're good. Who else have we got in here? We've also got Gillian, I hope everyone's doing well. And we've got the one, the only Mr. Burke in the background there. I don't know if you're leaving your camera on, Pops. You've also got, there's something sort of half blocking your camera a little bit as well. If you do plan on leaving it on, that is. Okay, perfect, brilliant. Right, and change your avatar and stuff. In the meantime, I will play a couple of songs. And yeah, we'll meet you back here. So, let me press this one.
Your mom tells me that
Can everyone hear that okay?
I didn't actually ask Karen. She's confused by my clothes and my hair and my shoes.
Yeah, go on, yeah, I am.
Maybe I should wear a dress so that her stress can diffuse. Manchester Airport, I know they're looking at me, trying to see what cute to put me through security. Shocked at the screen of the x-ray machine, cause I'm a little rap boy in the body of a lingerie model. These days are double. A lingerie model. She's given pear-shaped trouble. The lady in M&S perplexed cause I want a smaller chest. Miss the training weapon, now she's selling me a push-up bra. Now she's inside my mind, maybe she's right and it's time I monetize my thighs. I could get signed as a lingerie model. These days are double. A lingerie model. She's given pear-shaped trouble. So let's get these hush puppies on the scene. My ass is smoking me financially. I am independent. Don't need to please to get pregnant. As my genes to my descendants, making long-term investments. My kids can be lingerie models. The world's first lingerie toddlers. It's our lingerie model. Looking for pear-shaped trouble. Lingerie model. The kind of girl you wanna take home to your mother. Lingerie model. But in my spare time, I look more like your brother. In lingerie.
Take you to a gay bar, gay bar, gay bar. Let's stop. Stop. At the gay bar, gay bar, gay bar. Wow. At the gay bar. Tell me, do you have any money? I wanna spend all your money at the gay bar, gay bar, gay bar. superstar at the K-Bar. Yeah, you're a superstar. You're at the K-Bar. You're a superstar. You're at the K-Bar. Superstar. Superstar.
Here, tell him he's the most valid person you know except our respect.
Fucking catcher a mockeries. Warrior pit dealer, warrior snake equals a cocktail bread or unleashing the beast. Iho wore a mock for night at least. Dread Jella, he's beating some fella. Tahan or you see a shot and it's for sure straight to Silla. Fucked into the back of the Jeep, he falls asleep. He does it every week. Chucky or La, get the Brits out loud. A one-way ticket, please, I've lost my bus pass. It's Jackson off, he's looking some pins, man. The Kylie fucking Regionish, man. Keep it at the fucker, fucking fuck off. Jesus said on the cross, 2 pins of booze, 20 figs, and the dog is still lost. Who's next? Me, miss, some would you like a bag? While you're shopping at your nose, I see your ankle tag. Fuck you, curfew, there's no gated ice stocking. Overnight cop shop with 2 grams in his pocket. Loves his reputation, now he's no for being a rocket. In his dreams, 10mm loaded. I'm a hitch, double OD, low lace, coming what they say about me.
Well, if the sound quality's taking a nosedive, then we might as well start it now. How are you doing, Dad? Oh, nope, I think he thought we had more time. Some music is a great way to start a stream. That is how it's done. Dad, can you hear us? Dad, can you hear us? No, we've lost him. What a way to start the stream with technical issues. I put you backstage just for now. You should still be able to hear us, but we can't hear you. And by us, I mean me and the voices in my head. Can you hear us? Nope, we have officially lost him. He got lost in StreamYard 5 seconds ago. He could be anywhere. It's StreamYard's bloody thing. Prioritizes vocals over everything else, so it knackers music somewhat. Yeah, absolutely. It's difficult as well because obviously I can't hear it in the way that you guys hear it, so I'm only hearing it from my YouTube app as it comes in. Has Niggy pressed buttons again? Probably. It's very, very likely. Let's try one more time. Hello, Pops, you there? Nope. Right, bear with me just 1 second. I'll see if I can find another tune that isn't as scratchy or crazy. Let's see if we can find something that isn't so thingy. Let's try Welcome to the Internet.
Welcome to the internet. Have a look around. Anything that brain of yours can think of can be found. We've got mountains of content, some better, some worse. If none of it's of interest to you, you'd be the first. Welcome to the internet. Come and take a seat. Would you like to see the news or any famous women's feet? There's no need to panic. This isn't a test. Just nod or shake your head and we'll do the rest. Welcome to the internet. What would you prefer? Would you like to fight for civil rights or tweet a racial slur? Be happy, be horny, be bursting with rage. We got a million different ways to engage. Welcome to the internet. Put your cares aside. Here's a tip for straining pasta. Here's a 9-year-old who died. We got movies and doctors and fantasy sports and a bunch of colored pencil drawings of all the different characters in Harry Potter fucking each other. Welcome to the internet. Hold on to your socks, cause a random guy just kindly sent you photos of his cock. They are grainy and off-putting. He just sent you more. Don't act surprised, you know you like it, you whore. See a man beheaded, get offended, see a shrink. Show us pictures of your children, tell us every thought you think. Start a rumor, buy a broomer, send a death threat to a boomer, or DM a girl and groomer, do a zoomer, find a tumor in your. Here's a healthy breakfast option. You should kill your mom. Here's why women never fuck you. Here's how you can build a bomb. Which Power Ranger are you? Take this quirky quiz. Obama sent the immigrants to vaccinate your kids. Could I interest you in everything all of the time? A little bit of everything all of the time. Apathy's a tragedy and boredom is a crime. Anything and everything all of the time. Could I interest you in everything all of the time? A little bit of everything all of the time. Apathy's a tragedy and boredom is a crime. Anything and everything all of the time. You know, it wasn't always like this. Not very long ago, just before your time, right before the towers fell, circa 99. This was catalogs, travel blogs, a chat room or two. We set our sights and spent our nights waiting for you, insatiable you. Mommy let you use her iPad. You were barely 2, and it did all the things we designed it to do. Now look at you. Look at you. Unstoppable, watchable. Your time is now. Your insides out. Honey, how you grew. And if we stick together, who knows what we'll do. It was always the plan to put the world in your hand. Could I interest you in everything all of the time? A bit of everything all of the time. Apathy's a tragedy and boredom is a crime. Anything and everything all of the time. Could I interest you in everything all of the time? A little bit of everything all of the time. Apathy's a tragedy and boredom is a crime. Anything and everything and anything and everything and anything and everything and all of the time.
Anything and everything all of the time. Oh,
all of it. Evening, everybody. Good evening and welcome.
Welcome.
It goes downhill from here.
Yeah, don't expect anything substantial, anything meaningful or useful. It's not what we do here.
Yeah.
Oh, what an interesting few days it has been on the old tubes. What a show we've got planned for you today. Well, I say we've got planned for you. So I had this whole show planned and I was going to talk about some legal threats that have been coming from a certain specific boot licking, absolute delusional Looney Tune. But we had this whole thing planned out about why all these legal threats that were coming up were going to be absolute nonsense and why it's just, the work of a delusional mind and all this other stuff. And, we really had it good. I had this whole thing planned out. And then just a few hours ago, good old Ray.
Well, I don't think we can't talk about it.
Well, we can't talk about it. Nope, not doing it. Oh, God. Honestly, do you know what? I will say, though, I have had the funnest, most unusual, unhinged few days on YouTube. It has been, oh my fucking God, hilarious.
It's been, I mean, this one thing about with Captain Bootlicker is it's turned into the rantings of a madman, hasn't it? But I think we should share it.
We should, absolutely. I think that we're seeing somebody's mind unravel in real time on the internet. It's fascinating stuff. If it wasn't so bloody fucking annoying.
My God. I don't care that much. It's you that, because I don't spend as much time online and in those places as you, do I?
No, of course not. You're not as terminally brain broken as I am.
That's it. Yes. yes, my PTSD takes to the forms. Right, file open. I did have. I don't know. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Tell me what you're going to do.
Obviously, like, so my first thing was to talk about the deformation claim, but I wasn't going to. I wanted to. So sorry, did I say something that made you laugh?
Yeah, the word claim.
No, was it the word claim? Yeah.
Oh, no, he
about,
genuinely did it. Now he claims it was a typo, but it wasn't. It was real until we mentioned it. So.
Mentioned, yeah, and it was also done across many different things. But no, of course,
we are being sued. Formation, mate, and that's not, that's getting right out of shape, isn't it?
It's proper serious stuff, isn't it? You know, when you deform someone, he's all deformed. Dad, he's all out of sorts and that. We can't deform people.
Let's talk about
and bless him. I think he meant defamation. The little sweetie pie, little cutie patootie that he is. But you know. So obviously, yeah. So we've had some baseless sort of 3 a.m. threats of legal action and then subsequent ultimatums and what can only be described as a fucking mental unraveling over the internet in real time. So I didn't want to. The way I had this show planned originally, we were going to be talking about some of the legal threats that have come from this bootlicker, and we were going to be talking about why they're hilarious, why we're not putting any weight in it whatsoever, why it's. I mean, it was.
Why would he even try it? I don't know. He's just the man. He just has such a high opinion of his own opinion.
He fucking does.
He's walking around like he's Jesus.
Do you know what? He's making me like. I don't know. He's making me add like new standards to like my relationships and everything. I'm thinking like I need a woman that looks at me the same way Ray looks at Ray. Do you know what I mean? Like, the love that man has for himself is fucking second to none. The arrogance, the sheer knob jockery, the whole fucking lot. Like, it's just, honestly, this has to be one of, if not the single most strange, baffling encounter with the strangest, most baffling person I think I've ever encountered. This man is just hands down the Looney Tune of Looney Tunes. Cartoon Network didn't go away. It just started. They put all their fucking writers and animation artists on fucking to creating this character. And what a fucking job they've done. This man is just.
Let's get this straight from the start, right? We banned him from here months ago, and that seems to have been the final nail in his head or the coffin or whatever it is that set him off. I mean, but when you ban someone, it usually means like, we've got nothing more really to say to you, However, in this case, it's just ramped up, and he's been writing all kinds of stuff, hasn't he?
He's been falling apart. It seems.
He's been accusing me of stuff. I mean, I hardly know the bloke. I've hardly spoke to him at all. When I say no,
yes,
online, no. I've hardly, I haven't had a lot to say to him. But he keeps trying to drag me into this months-long spat he's had with Jo here. It's funny. It's like playground stuff, isn't it?
It's weirder than playground
stuff. Lots to explain.
It's I wouldn't even call it playground stuff.
Jo.
There's no kids that are this thick. There's no it's void of logic, reason, all those good things, but it's also just it's absolutely crazy. It is absolutely crazy, and it's one of the funniest things that I think I've ever seen. So we'll start with the beginning. Let's just how we first met Mr. In Between. At first, he was desperate for attention. He was, sitting on a channel that was 19.3 thousand subs and that, which sounds absolutely great, but it was incredibly stagnant. He was really struggling to pull 15 people into a live stream, and so he was kind of desperate for relevance and for clout, really, which is really weird because he's decided to clout chase from a channel that's only like, at the time it was like 400 we had, I think, a couple months ago. It was like 400 subscribers.
And I have a theory of this about this, and I pretty much think it's right. He's been using his AI a lot, hasn't he? So he's been feeding himself into this AI for quite a while. and I think he's got it bigging him up. And he's realised, or the AI has realised, he's been feeding his stats in, and the AI has realised that even though he's got some, like you say, 20,000 subscribers, but when he goes live, he struggles to raise an audience of more than 20, like we do. But we've only got 600 and something subs. Every one of you are gold, by the way. So, but yeah, so he struggles to raise an audience of about more than 20, even out of his 20,000 subscribers. Shows to me that he's like his supporters have deserted him in droves. They were drama. They were all there for the drama, for the protest dramas and for the right, for that riot stuff and all there. That's where he got his 20,000 from. So what the algorithm, what the AI has decided for him, has shown him, is that when he's engaging with us or attacking us and getting a response, he's getting more hits. So we're actually good for him, whether you like it or not. We're actually good for him. We're providing him with fucking I don't know, what do you call it? Fucking
we are his drama farm. He is drama farming. He's doing what he can to be able to gain relevance and traction because it's failing for him.
Because he's getting more reaction. You can see it on his posts, can't you? You can count the likes and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a fucking weirdo.
It is a fucking weirdo. But let's start from the beginning. So obviously we first met Mr. In Between because he was trying to get interaction. He was trying to get traction and likes. And so he reached out to us. Obviously, this channel, we create content that centers around focusing on individuals, public figures, and networks and stuff that are creating content or have ideologies that are aligned, if not outright, far-right ideology and things. We have a special focus on those that tend to push out anti-migrant sentiment, anti-asylum sentiment, racist bigots, that sort of thing. We tend to focus on those types of characters. But we do have a sort of special and unique focus on auditors. We're not the only people that look at far-right auditors in the way that we do, but it's one of our things. It's like a hallmark of us. It's what we're known for. So naturally, with Mr. In Between being an armchair auditor, just somebody that's sort of like, he's sort of auditor adjacent. He's not quite an auditor. He doesn't go outside and unless it's to the bus stop, he doesn't quite go outside to do the physical auditing.
Well, he's been out a couple of times, doesn't he? He goes to what he calls the Pally marches or something, doesn't he?
Does he? I'm not too sure he does. But
yeah,
does
I've seen him out a couple of times, I'm sure. However,
but primarily, he operates as an armchair auditor, doesn't he? Where he takes other people's content and then he uploads commentary over it.
Thing with him, isn't it? He's like you say, he's not an auditor. He's done nothing. His claim to fame, if you like, has been taking auditors' videos and commenting on them, so he gets to call the police narcissists. That's about as much flipping real auditing as he's done. Pretty much none.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And so that's kind of, naturally, because we had a focus on audits, because he was an armchair auditor who needed traction and was desperate for any sort of traction he could get. He naturally, he reached out to us and in a less than polite way was like, look, I want to talk to you about your opinions and things. And so we did, we arranged what I call the Clash Talk, because obviously we had different talks. So I named it Clash Talk, foreshadowing that it would be a sort of clash. And when we did the show, it was a bit of a shit show. I'm not going to lie. Every single point he was creating was just asinine far-right talking points. Everything he was talking about auditors none of it was based in reality. You kept inventing the definitions of words. Well, it can't be this because I've changed the meaning of that word. And it keeps moving the goalpost that way. But overall, it was just me talking to an idiot who doesn't understand what he's talking about, creating his own definitions, making things up as he goes along, and then rejecting the actual original meanings of any words, phrases, or sentiments that he doesn't understand. But it wasn't any shouting. It was more or less polite-ish. It was just a couple of people who spent about 4 hours or so really going into it, really talking about stuff. And there were certain points that was like, it was so painful, it was like extracting a tooth, like trying to get him to admit that Hitler was a fascist right before he went and did some like Holocaust denial stuff. This guy was just,
I know.
he was unhinged, but it was, I mean, you know, he's a bad faith actor, but it was more or less in good faith, you know, and so that was basically sort of like the end of that. But then he started to take a real sharp turn, going from an armchair auditor, because auditing has changed, obviously. So they're not what they used to be. It's not, you know, holding overstepping powers to account. It's far-right lunatics being far-right lunatics. And so because auditing's changed, naturally, Mr. In-Between News has changed with them. Normally, this grift is quite a lucrative one. It doesn't seem to be working out for Mr. In-Between, but he nonetheless has taken a headfirst dive into alt-right content. So I'm going to click on my channel here. Let me skip back. I'm going to go through some posts. I'm just going to skip back to sort of like around the first time that I started mentioning Mr. In-Between News, just to give you a little bit of a thingy for the, just a little bit of context and stuff about the sorts of things that we were picking up on, you know, picking him up on and that. Because after we started communicating, that was when, because I wasn't aware of Mr. In-Between News until he presented himself to me, you know, desperately trying to get our attention, trying to be on the stream, which we allowed. So once he'd done that, obviously, then I was like, oh, well, this is Mr. In-Between. I might as well subscribe. And the amount of unhinged, nonsensical, far-right, bigoted bullshit that was coming out of that channel was just unreal. It was too much. There was no way I couldn't like highlight some of these things. Do you know what I mean? Like, so let me have a look now. The first, oh god, where are I? I'm sorry, I'm having to scroll right through my old posts and things. All right, so it was around, was it 2 months ago? It was 3 months ago. There we go. So we've known Mr. In-Between for about 4 months. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, we've known Mr. In-Between for about, say, 4 months at most, which is when he first started to reach out. So he quickly, I started to realize that this was a guy who was like creating and selecting information so that, you know, from the media sphere and other things like that, so that, you know, selectively, so that he could create a worldview around him that matched with his own. Does that make any sense? He's the type of person that would, like, instead of waiting for, yeah, I'll tell you what, here's a great example of it. Let's have a look. So this was the first real thing that I shared of Mr. In-Betweens before, you know, when it all started to go wrong. This was, you know, a good example of him starting to make that shift into this weird sort of content where he was talking about, do you remember the stabbing in, is it Huntingdon, was it? The train incident that was, yeah, so yeah, absolutely. So that incident itself, Mr. In-Between got quite upset and quite angry that the mainstream media were claiming that it was a random attack. And also at this point in time, I believe that when this was post was dropped, the police hadn't actually finished investigating. They hadn't finished gathering evidence. 2 people had been arrested, but nobody knew anything. But that didn't stop Mr. In-Between News. He was convinced that this was a terror attack. And as we can see here, he was saying things like, oh, trust the Guardian to post this shite. So, not a terror attack, yet 11 end up in hospital. So 2 black males of Caribbean descent, and then in brackets sort of questioning their ethnicity, but both British. So let me get this right, ... And the mainstream media going to claim this was just a random attack. 2 people, British in quotation marks, again trying to draw some sort of like questions on their ethnicity. British quotation marks, males just decide out of the blue to attack a train full of people. How thick do they think we all are? That last question isn't a question that he really wants an answer to, because the obvious answer is, if we're talking about you, Ray,
I was just going to answer that. I won't go there.
And very, very, very fucking thick. But this was where it started. It's just little things like this. So, you know, he would post something like that. I would then share it, and then it would cause about 4 or 5 other posts from Ray talking about why exactly the left suck and why we're all wrong, and he's right and he's the smart one. He knows everything.
He insisted it was a terror attack because he was terrified.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. 11 people ended up in hospital. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was really, really unfortunate.
Yeah, it's the way it was, yeah.
But it's this selective thing, trying to build things. So any information that he doesn't like, that he doesn't agree with, that doesn't fit in with his worldview, 2 black men, right? 2 black males of Caribbean descent, also known as just, you know, British people, but like, you know what I mean? But it wasn't adding up in his head. 2 black men, 11 people stabbed. This must be a terror attack. They you know what I mean? And like questioning their Britishness and everything else. It was just fucking wild. It was absolutely wild. It was Yeah, silence that phone while at work. But yeah, no, it was just absolutely ludicrous, and this was the first among many little petty sort of like back and forths. But like I say, as a channel, we sort of focus on these far right figures. We focus on people that are creating this unhinged fucking content that aligns with far right ideology or bigotry or racism in general, and people who are pushing division rather than unity. That's what we focus on. So naturally, of course, this sort of figure is someone that we heavily leaned into. So we've had like a back and forth going, going over and over. Oh, I remember this unhinged series of posts about this horrible act. In one, he suggests people wear backpacks on the front to act as makeshift stab vests.
Do you remember this?
Yeah,
Just after where it happened. Well, Ray's advice to survive on the train is to put your fucking rucksack on backwards.
Oh God. Yeah, and there's another fantastic point. The joy they find in awful news is disturbing when it's a person of color. Yeah, and to be totally frank with you, you're so spot on the money there. I don't think you understand it, because he also has this terrible habit of doing what other scumbags have done, which is weaponizing largely women and girls. Sexual abuse and their trauma to make political points. This is something that he will deny doing. He says that he absolutely does not do this. But let's have a little quick scroll through his channel again, just to give you a little idea of exactly what it is that he's doing and saying. So let's come down to it was semi recently. Sorry, he posts so much shit, it's unbelievable. Let's get to around let's get to right, so here it is. This is the right, so here he is, right. So this is the case of this is Tretch on the 28 from Trinidad was staying at a hotel when he sexually assaulted a woman on a night out at Bournemouth in June last year. Absolutely awful, disgusting. We stand with all victims of sexual assault, right? It's, without any exception. Unlike obviously Mr. In Between, who's only really picking up on the ones whose offenders fit a certain profile of person, and that particular profile happens to be a demographic that he already hates. So here we see him, right? He's saying that he's not turning their pain into a political, their suffering into a political football or to try and create political goals. But here we can also see another one that's a danger to women. But the left are all for open borders. So he's quite clearly making this a political jibe at left-wing people, trying to weaponize women's trauma. It's something that we picked up on a while ago. It's something that he does semi-regularly. There you go. Here's another one. This is what the left want you to be okay with. Paying vile nonces money. You couldn't make this up. A migrant sex offender mistakenly released from prison after threatening to disrupt his deportation from the UK to Ethiopia. So this thing here, left-wing government, what he's doing is he's picking only sexual offenders who fit a certain racial or ethnic profile to try and prove a point that he's been saying for a while, which is that asylum seekers are in fact all potential criminals. They're all dangerous. They're all evil, and it's the left that are responsible for this new and unique present danger. He loves to call them illegals. He loves to call them let's come down here. There's a few more that I wanted to have a look at. He loves to call them illegals. He loves to blame left-wing ideology or whatever for the idea that all of these people are being let in. They're all killers. They're all this, that, and the other. It's just fucking ludicrous. So let me come down here. It might be a bit further back. I'm just having a look for. There was one that I did sort of semi recently that really fucking was unbelievably, world-endingly, jaw-droppingly fucking stupid. And it just proves his bigotry and everything else. So it's worth looking into. Let's have a scroll. Where is? And the amount of times you see Lefty in here, but he's not a righty. He's not. Oh God, bro has picked the side that he's too fucking stupid to defend. So more again using, this one here is using a child's fucking trauma to try and weaponize it. The left will do this, blah blah blah. It's fucking wrong. Where is it now? So Oh God, bear with me. It shouldn't be too far down unless I've already gone past it. I might have to go back to my own for this one. But by the way, do you know what, Dad? Just throw it out there. Do you know how this guy loves to like really go in on your parenting style and this, that, and the other? I was having a look at this post that he did about being a man. This is real man. This is masculinity. Now, I'm gonna do something here and use all of these pictures in one sentence. You tell me if what I'm saying with a yes or a no. Did you do boxing, Dad? Combat sports.
I did some boxing at one time.
You did, didn't you? Did you ever do? Have you ever done a hard day's work leading to some really dirty hands?
I was a skilled tradesman, yeah.
You were a skills tradesman. You weren't by any chance a welder in the army, were you?
Welding fabricator, yeah, that's me.
In the army, soldier too. You've scored ding, ding, 10 out of 10 on the masculinity test, Dad.
Am I winning?
You are, yeah. According to Mr. In Between, you are as masculine as it gets. You're
give me a cuddle, Tweenie, Mr. Between my butt cheeks. Give me a cuddle.
Oh God, he's absolutely crazy. So there was right, okay. So there's things like this, yeah. Sorry, I got a bit of a sore throat. I need to clear it up.
Illegal route via boat and no document. Let me get this straight. You hop in a rubber dinghy in the middle of the night, dodge every legal checkpoint on the map, land on a beach you weren't invited to, and then say, "Hey, I'm an asylum seeker." And somehow lefties act shocked when the law calls that illegal. Well, if that ain't illegal, then nothing is. We might as well turn off the border lights and put up a sign that says "Help yourself." Have we got border lights? Do they go
we do.
all
We've
the
got
way?
border lights. They blink like fucking like the lights at Blackpool.
All right. And then you've got the usual chorus online, the left, who never met a camera they didn't like, screaming about how it's all perfectly fine. These are the same people who think rules are optional as long as they're the ones breaking them. Okay. They'll tell you it's compassion. Sure, compassion. Funny how their compassion always seems to involve someone else's neighborhood, someone else's taxes, someone else's problems. But hey, they get their likes, their retweets, and that warm, fuzzy feeling that comes from pretending they're saying, saving the world from behind a screen. I would suggest that warm, fuzzy feeling he gets is when he doesn't go to the toilet quick enough. And you can see it as plain as day. It ain't about the migrants. It ain't about the law. It's about them, their moral spotlight, their hero moment, their chance to look down their nose at everybody else and say, "See, I'm the good one. See, I'm the good one." Meanwhile, the rest of us got to deal with the actual mess. But sure, keep pitching the lefties. Real easy to be generous with things that ain't yours. He's absolutely fucking lost the plot.
He has lost the plot. So right, I just wanted to clarify as well, with facts, with logic, and an understanding of how asylum law actually fucking works. You muppet. So right, what he's saying here, right? So let me get this straight. You hop in a dinghy in the middle of the night, dodge every legal checkpoint on the map with it. First of all, there are no legal checkpoints in the channel. You don't hop on a boat in the middle of the night and then travel through land. It doesn't work like that. Anyway. You land on a beach you weren't invited to and then say, "Hey, I'm an asylum seeker." So do you know what? Actually, Mr. In Between, more or less, yeah, that's pretty much how it works. So what this fucking world-endingly, jaw-droppingly, knuckle-draggingly stupid motherfucker doesn't and will never understand it because he just refuses to do. This guy, right? I swear we've had these conversations multiple times. Not only did we have that conversation on my stream here where I explained to him what Article 2 was under the European Convention of Human Rights. Not only did I explain to him that we have ratified this into UK law, we are also signatories of the 1951 Refugee Convention and everything else. We've got all of these things that exist both within our law and international framework and everything else that we all abide to, that it is illegal. As it's being pointed out in the chat here by people with half a brain, sorry, not with half a brain cell, with more than half a brain cell. So sorry, Michael. I'm not trying to say that you had half a brain cell. I'm saying he had half a brain cell. That it isn't illegal and irregular is the word that he's looking for.
Hey, that was generous.
That is so bloody generous, isn't it? It really, really is. This thing here where he's like, well, what was it now? If that ain't illegal, then nothing is. No, that you just don't understand how international law works. So not only did we have this conversation in person on my own stream about it, which, you know, he was like, okay, fair
It's
enough,
been,
I'll leave you to it.
it's
But
been explained to him many times, many times.
many times. In fact, this man is so dense, he's so allergic to learning, he is so stupid, not stupid, he's stupid with 2 O's. He's so stupid that I've actually been on this platform before for 4 hours, and for the most part of those 4 hours, I was pleading with him. Why, please, let me bring you the evidence. Let me show you the law that says that it's not a crime. Do you know what his response was?
I do, because I heard it.
Do you want to do it? What did he do?
No,
Should we reenact it? We'll reenact it. You play the part of Mr. In Between, and I'll play the part of myself. Let me get into my handsome character. Right,
Okay.
you ready?
Okay.
So, Mr. In Between, I've got evidence that proves that you're wrong, and you know it would be useful for your audience if, in real time, while we're talking, you could look at the law. The law says that it's legal. So, can I show you the law, please? Can I show you the evidence?
No.
Okay.
Now?
So, no.
No, you
I've got
don't.
evidence.
No,
But I have
no, you
evidence.
No, you can't. Not on this channel, you can't.
But I've got evidence though that proves that you were wrong.
No, you can't.
You're not afraid of being wrong, are you? And looking silly in front of your audience and being guilty of spreading misinformation.
No, you can't. No.
And that was pretty much basically it. At one point, he went, no means no. Don't you understand? No. And it's like, he did do that. This is why he never. This is why
I didn't do a very good job.
moronic stuff.
Yeah.
And this thing here, this is fucking. Right, so this idea here, right? So he's taking a picture of people who are crossing the channel, right? He's like, only morons trying to argue that these individuals are real asylum seekers. This takes us to the other thing. He thinks that by looking at a person, the way that when you look at them, you can tell whether or not they're a genuine case for asylum seekers. But he also doesn't know or understand what genuine asylum seeking is.
I think he reads their aura from a distance. You know, their aura.
He's got tarot cards.
It's not tarot cards, it's their aura. It surrounds them. It's like an electrical field that surrounds them, and it changes different colors when they get angry and different colors when they get happy, and it's total bullshit. But yeah, you can. I can imagine you can see that.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Bloody fucking allegedly. So obviously now what we're doing is okay. So I want to do this properly. Actually, you know what? So obviously this right here, as we discussed. So under Article 2 of the ECHR, you have a legal right. You not just have a legal right, you have a human right to be able to claim asylum in the UK via this method. It's an irregular method, but the law makes no bones about how it is claimed. So it doesn't say that you have to arrive by shore by a plane, because most people can't. So here's some facts for you. Here's the 75s. So 75% of all asylum seekers, when they leave their home nation, will settle in other nations around them. Which is kind of what the point he's making here. Like, why would they leave France? It's a safe place. There is no war here. They can't be genuine asylum seekers if they're in France. It's the stupidest way of trying to present or make this argument in any way, shape, or form. It's really difficult to get it through to him because he's made his mind up, because he's stupid. But the fact is that isn't how the process of asylum seeking works. So what happens is most people, when they leave their country, let's say Syria or somewhere like that, most people, 75% of them, will settle in other areas that are closest to them, so neighbouring countries or whatever. There are the 25% of those that don't, of the 100% in total, that can't settle in those areas. So what they will do is they will continue the journey to try and find a country that they can get asylum in. Now, why can't they get asylum in the countries around them? That happens for many, many different reasons.
Also, these countries have also taken in massive amounts of asylum seekers as well, haven't they?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
And so they will turn people down that may have a genuine case just simply because they've filled a quota over their quota. You know what I mean? They've done over more than their prearranged obligations were, and so they simply don't have the ability to be able to process or facilitate that whatsoever. So they turn people away, and you must then keep walking. A lot of people, for when it comes to for reasons why people would travel to France to get to the UK, it's because, let's say you've come from, I don't know, let's pretend you've come from Afghanistan, where passports aren't being able to be used. You had to flee Afghanistan quite quickly because the Taliban are chasing you, because because you work with the British. If you have a connection to Britain, like say having worked with them, whether it's you're a former colony, whether you speak the language and things like that, as a lot of people do, being former colonies and things, whether you've got family here or other sorts of connection, if you've got that connection to the UK, you won't actually be allowed to get asylum anywhere else.
Maybe you laid your life on the line helping the British troops in Afghanistan. Just like crazy stuff, like people that absolutely deserve to be. Carry on.
Dad, I'm
Sorry,
so sorry. I don't know if that was my internet or if you might skip that there. I don't think we quite heard that last point that you mentioned there.
It's okay, mate. It doesn't matter. I just
sorry, Dad. All right, no worries. All right, moving on. It's all right. It's not a big deal. But like what we're trying to do is it's really difficult when you come across this level of asinine, moronic, oversimplistic view at very complex and nuanced issues. He's basically reducing this to it like France safe, UK safe. Well, if you go from one safe place to another safe space, you're not an asylum seeker. That's not how that works. When you're seeking asylum, you're not just seeking an end to persecution. You're not just seeking a safer environment around you where there isn't a war or anything like that. What you're doing is you're seeking citizenship in another country. You're seeking jobs. You're seeking a life. You have to be able to go to a country, become a citizen, become a recognized citizen, whether that's through getting a refugee status, through getting an asylum seeking status. It doesn't matter, right? As long as that's what it is. That's the ultimate core of it. That's the simplest way that I can define it. It's not about fleeing immediate danger. It's about being able to live a life. That everybody has a right to be able to live a life free from persecution. Now, let's say that you arrive in France, which, yes, safe country. Absolutely, there's no war going on in France. They've got all sorts of things happening in France that are great for people. Loads of services, loads of everything. However, if, like a lot of people, you find yourself in France and because you speak English fluently, you're not able to claim asylum in France. If you've got a relative that lives in the UK, you won't be able to claim asylum in France. Now, what does that mean? That means that, yes, although France is a safe country, you will never be able to get a sort of French national insurance number, if that makes sense. You'll never be able to get a job. You'll never be able to officially do or subscribe to anything that's in France. There will be no benefits. There will be no anything. You will starve there. You won't be able to get work because that is a crime. And if you do, you will go to prison. You will not be able to feed your family via the usual means. Like I said, you can't get a job. You can't do this. You can't do that. You will die there. You will starve there. You would be left to steal. You'd be left to, or get illegal work, or you wouldn't be able to live a normal, legal, decent existence there. And so, if you can get an asylum to the UK, you should go forward and get an asylum to the UK. That is how that works. It's not that it's a safe country. It's a country where you will be ostracized, cut off from the system, unable to get any life-saving resources like money, food, shelter. French winters are just as harsh as British winters, you know what I mean, in Calais especially. It's an awful and a precarious, incredibly dangerous place to live. If you have absolutely no way, shape or form of generating any legal funds or generating anything, it will turn people to criminality, to poverty. It leaves children vulnerable. It's horrendous, which is why we have this rule. So if you arrive on the shores of the UK and you say you are an asylum seeker, you will be treated as an asylum seeker because it is your human right to do so. Now, whether or not you are able to claim asylum remains to be seen. You were brought over to the UK. We used to have places in France before Brexit where people would go, they'd start their process, they'd be vetted and everything else, they'd go through the asylum process, and if successful, they would come to the UK. Now, because of Brexit, we've got all these people arriving by shore because we don't have those pre-arranged agreements. We don't have those regular routes of migration, regular routes of claiming asylum like we used to. We've closed them off. So now people are taking irregular routes, which again is still absolutely legal. Now, a British person say, you can't just get on a boat and say sail to France. You may be in trouble for not checking in, especially if you say you didn't have a passport or whatever. It would be very difficult, right? So I understand that in some like specific circumstances, this is technically a crime. I understand that sort of. I kind of get it how they get to that point where they're like, well, you're not allowed to just go from one place to another without a passport. But it isn't that simple. It's not this easy to digest simple thing. It's quite a nuanced thing. There are exceptions to those rules, like for example, Article 2 of the ECHR, the Convention for Refugees, 1951, they clearly lay out that you are absolutely allowed to do this. So what we're seeing here, right? What I'm doing is I'm not trying to like do any reputational damage. I'm not trying to justify any of the criticisms that I've done previously to try and avoid litigation that we all knew was never going to happen anyway. It's none of those things. We're not running from things or trying to prove that this guy's a certain this, that, and the other. We're just having a look at some of the criticism and seeing if it holds up against against the honest light of day, right? We're just trying to see if some of the things that we said were right. And what I'm saying is that this man produces bigoted, racist viewpoints, xenophobic ideas. He's promoting incredibly toxic, far-right, dangerous policy suggestions and changes that are just unbelievably psychotic and bigoted at its very core. He's producing so much misinformation, like this right here. It's illegal via boat and no document. It's not. It isn't illegal. If you can get to the shores to claim asylum, then you should. It's illegal. It's not just legal. It is their human right. Now, on the note of their human rights, I want to take us to another post just a little bit up here. In fact, I may even just let me stop sharing for a second. Let me get over to my one because I know I've shared this post in a screenshot. So this is where it gets. I'm not here to try and prove that he is a racist, that he is a bigot, that he is this, that, or the other. And least of all, because, like I say, I really, really don't want anyone to run with this imaginary narrative that Mr. In Between is pushing at the moment. That we're terrified of some litigation, that we've always, we were scared of it, and it's made us.
We're gonna. I mean, the threats he made was just. I think he must have read it back to himself later and gone, "Oh, for fuck's sake, I really shouldn't drink and post." To be honest, I think he's done that and then kind of he wrote something and he's pulled back. I don't know. I don't know. The man's fucking.
It was, in my opinion, a pathetic and snivelling attempt from a narcissist trying to be a control freak, trying to control our channel, trying to control the content, trying to squash dissent coming from a smaller channel. And now what he's doing is because he's realised that we didn't ever take any of this seriously. We didn't ever, it was only a laughable, funny thing that we did. And this idea that, I've taken over a channel it's all bollocks. He's trying to preemptively, we knew it wasn't going to happen. And he knew that we were going to call his bluff because he knew that we knew that he knew it was never going to fucking happen. And so
I knew that he knew that we knew that he knew that it wasn't going to fucking even I.
So this is something that he posted, obviously. So get to France, a safe place. You pay a gang to get on a boat. You wash up on the coast of the UK. You are not an asylum seeker. So we've gone through why that is actually factually incorrect. It is absolutely incorrect. So yes, you get to France on a safe place, but if you cannot claim asylum there, it is just as dangerous for you as anywhere. You will have a life of poverty. You'll be left stranded and nomad within a place where you cannot claim benefits so much as get a job. You won't be able to put food on your plate. You won't be able to put clothes on your children's back. You won't be able to give them clean drinking water properly. You will have to rely on the handouts of strangers, unless, of course, you want to break the law and risk prison for a long time in order to feed your family, which I'm sure people would do. But it's not that it's a safe place. It isn't. It's a place, certainly. Is there war there? Sure. But do they have any rights or anything there? None at all. So this whole thing, we've already been through this. We know it's wrong, and it is totally legal, more than just legal, to be able to get to be able to go from France to the UK. It's written in law. It's been ratified by the UK. We all abide by it. Now, this particular thing here, oh God, we're not even going to be able to see it properly. But what he says here, what this is here, right? So you can see for the most of it, he's talking about illegal migrants with the potential to be violent criminals. This weird framing of these people. He's determined to go with this racist trope that asylum seekers are illegal immigrants, not based on any laws that they've broken, but based on how they look and where they're from. They haven't committed any crimes. They have a human right to be able to be asylum seekers and to do what, the law sets out for them, which is to claim asylum even through irregular routes. Yes, even through irregular routes. It is their right to do so. It isn't against the law, and it's backed up by Article 2 of the ECHR and the Refugee Convention that we are signatories to. But he also, right here, advocates a blanket ban on any asylum seekers for at least 12 months, right? So what sounds like just a sort of throwaway comment is actually a streamer with 20,000 subscribers, nearly, with 20,000 subscribers, publicly advocating for policies, for racist policies that would collectively punish an entire group of people based on the actions of other people who they may not even, not only would they have not known them or ever met them in their life, but they may not even be from the same part of the world. So, and the reason why it's racist to do this is because it exclusively would affect people that aren't British. It's based on its rights. It's what he's talking about is suspending human rights for groups of people based on the fact that they aren't born in a certain place. Is he advocating for taking our rights away? No, just them. That's why it's racist. It disproportionately affects people of other nations of origin based on their nations of origin. This is unmistakably bigoted, racist, xenophobic, all of them. When you put it all together, this is far right. This aligns perfectly with far right ideology, with fascist ideology of a hierarchy of systems, rights for the approved group and not as many rights for the out group and everything else. It's classic fascism, it's classic racism, it's classic xenophobia and bigotry. This is ethnophobia at its finest. This whole idea, well, I hate like this. I've got a hierarchy. Like, I'm not racist. I hate all foreigners. Shut up, you absolute fucking idiot! What a fucking idiot! And again, we're pointing this out not to try and cause this person any harm, not to damage his reputation. It's this is just holding his thoughts and opinions, the things that he's publicly posted, dangerously publicly posted online for all to see, to quite a significant audience. Not only is it lies and misinformation, and he knows it is because he's been told multiple times what the laws are. He's decided not to look at Article 2. He's decided not to look at intentionally chose to avoid those subjects in any honest detail whatsoever, and instead what he's doing is advocating for fascist ideas of having a hierarchy of system, a hierarchy of human rights based on where that human was or was not born. It's disgusting. It really, really is. Now, I want to go back to the defamation stuff, the deformation stuff. So as everyone can see from our posting, from everything else, and from our general demeanor and the way that we've conducted ourselves, and we were never in any way, shape, or form taking this seriously. It wasn't a serious thing. We knew this was bullshit, didn't we? Obviously.
Oh, we had a good old laugh on the Discord about it.
For days we've been laughing in the Discord about it. It is on the fucking memes and gifs that have been posted. Oh my god, there was one today that just broke me. Like, I can't even describe it on here because it'll just sound crazy out of context. But it honestly, it's been the funniest, maddest thing ever. This has been watching somebody completely unravel over a period of time. So obviously this started off with a 3 a.m. baseless threat of get your solicitor, right? And then there was subsequent childish ultimatums, childish to say the least. Like, if you don't do this, I will do X, Y, and Z.
You don't remove every post you fucking spoke about or to me or something, wasn't it? Every single post, go through all your shit and remove everything pertains to me, everything. What the fuck? It's like, yeah, okay. Who the fuck do you think you are?
I know, it's shockingly stupid. It's like, honestly, it's like fucking like there should be studies about this person. Like, I cannot like.
Oh, it's best forgotten, to be honest.
Oh, absolutely. So let's just have a look at this thing. Because, but again, we're not looking through this. We're not trying to prove a point that no, we can prove that he has said quite substantial racist, bigoted, far right misinformation that's been designed at its core to cause division and to try and profit from said division. We're not doing it because we're trying to prove that there is no defamation because it's all true, which is obvious. We know it's all true. I wrote it. I know it's true. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've seen the stuff that he posts. I get it. It's not, we're also not trying to in some way fucking retract or like, be like, right, okay, we need to, go on the offensive or go on the defensive because, because we're going to be we knew it was never going to happen. Never in a million years. Now, before we come to the admission that this was never going to happen, and obviously for obvious reasons because he's fucking stupid, but I just wanted to point out a couple of the choice phrases that he puts in some of this stuff. So he was pretending that, get your head around this, guys, right? Get your head around this. He was pretending a grown ass man was having make-believe pretending fun in his head and posting it out there. He was playing a game of imagination, and he was pretending that he was going to sue not only was he pretending that we were going to sue, but he was pretending that this was having detrimental effects on us and our channel and controlling the way that we were going about stuff. He also then pretended that he had the power that, not only was he pretending that he was going to sue and that it was having an effect, but also he was pretending that he had power or influence to be able to tell us and give us ultimatums and tell us how to be able to dictate what goes on our channel and everything else. And then if we look here, after all that pretending, he's saying, quite certain, in no uncertain terms, shall I say, if you don't do what I say, this, that, and, making all these threats, I will sue for defamatory claims he has made in public. Right? That's not a suggestion. That's not an idea or something indirect.
I will sue you, Lewis. I will.
Okay, so he's and he doubled down on that claim as well, right? So he's claiming that we're living in some online content bubble. He's pretending that he's going to sue, and he's now saying that, look, when I pretend I will sue Lewis, I really mean I'll pretend to sue. He's really doubling down that no uncertain terms right there can be mistaken, right? There's no uncertain terms.
So what we did was we actually. Well, we collapsed at that point. We collapsed after, under all those threats. We collapsed, fucking laughing, knob. Absolutely, fucking yeah. This way lies madness,
Yeah, it really does. And he said this thing, I will sue. Remember, he said it in such certain terms. It comes in very.
We didn't react.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, no, we did react, and it's important to look at our reaction. So I put, and in today's things that will never happen, stop being that stupid. We have Mr. In Between News. So immediately we were like, look, this isn't going to happen. Let's all have a laugh at how stupid this is. So then he started pretending that we were panic posting. So he's pretending that he's going to sue. He's pretending that we're going to panic post. And now that we've, we carried on as we were, we did exactly what we said we were going to do. And, we were talking about it and everything else. And we wanted to expose how ludicrous, how stupid, how fucking ridiculous and idiotic this was. Look at what he did not long before we came on to stream, right? So remember, he said, when I say I will sue, I will sue. So there you go, right? Remember that bit because it comes important. So for the last few weeks, I've been conducting a little social experiment. Nothing fancy, no smoke and mirrors, just patience. See, there's a certain online bully. Now he's doing cry bully tactics, right? Anyway, after threatening me, giving me ultimatums, demanding what I should and shouldn't have on my channel, otherwise I will be dragged through expensive litigation. And I'll show you comments later where he's talking about the expense of it all and everything else. It's just fucking stupid. It was clearly his attempt to try and push us in a certain direction because he doesn't like the dissent that's coming from this channel, because we call him out on his obvious misinformation, bigoted, racist bullshit.
He called our stream of the whole Poundland vibe production. I'm absolutely fucking broken.
I know, and which is weird considering he's been trying to emulate some of the content we've been putting out there. Yes, top of the plods, we're talking about you. So a real defender of democracy from Sofa Bed Energy. So I thought, what happens if I dang a little bait? Turns out, not much. You're right, not much happened. Not much at all. Not much. We laughed at you and then called you a fucking idiot. Because you are a fucking idiot. And then he's put, because it doesn't take much. All I had to do was suggest very calmly that defamation was the consequence. That's it. No lawsuit filed, no paperwork. Just the idea that words might have weight. And wouldn't you know, he took it hook, line, and live stream. ChatGPT is really doing the heavy lifting here. It's unbelievable. But so do you remember before when he was saying that, now he's saying that he's pretending now, not only is he pretending to have sued us, not only is he pretending it had some sort of profound impact on us or our channel, or that he dominated and was, protecting, not only is he pretending that it's had these, big sweeping impacts, but also he's now pretending that he didn't actually, make any sort of solid claims of anything. He just suggested very calmly. He said, right, okay, look, does this look like
Sorry, carry on.
Oh, go on, say that again. It's all right. I was just
saying hello to new potatoes. Tatus Newydd. Good to see you, bed.
Look at all it. So this guy is the one that's been like, if you don't delete content, I'm going to sue you. And when I say I will do, I will do. All of this, all aimed at me. This is Now he's doing this thing where he's claiming, and even like these ones are sideways digs at me. You know what I mean? At us, pair of Burks, and because obviously we're a couple of Burks. You know, unmistakably exactly what it is. Like this man is completely and utterly not based in reality. He simply isn't. It's like I can't. Yeah. So he's like, oh look, he's panic posting. And what I said was, this isn't going to happen. Stop being that stupid. And then, you know, the ultimatums, the threats, we will take it to court. It's going to be very expensive. And then the implication, he was saying that there's more than one of us. There's a few of us that he's named. We're all
he's got a little team assembled, a little team of right-wing snotheads that are going to sue us the minute we say one word out of place. Now, we've been at it for a few months, and they have not had a break so far. Who knows? Who knows what we have to say? What words they're waiting for us to actually use? Who knows? And who knows who they are?
Also, it's saying like this guy is so fucking idiot. He's so fucking stupid, right? So, because someone is driven by ego, you don't need force. You need gravity. Ah, yes, gravity. Only the most famous force in the fucking world. Like this fucking guy.
Give them something to orbit and they'll do it themselves.
Look at it. He was like, just whisper accountability. This man told us
the
we didn't
spiral.
delete this idea of whisper. Just a whisper. This man said in no uncertain terms that if you don't delete your content that pertains to me and other people that I like, you know, my other far right fucking auditors who I dick ride for, then I will sue you. And when I say I will, I mean I will.
Yeah. So I just there where your arrow's pointing now. Can I read this is incredible. While he's busy, right? Just whisper accountability and watch the spiral. And the best part, ? While he's busy obsessing over me and preparing imaginary courtroom battles, he's leaving the auditors alone. And that was always the aim. Redirect his time to focus on Ray. Mission accomplished. So, I mean, all those auditors need to line up and thank him on their knees, thanking the boy for taking the flak for him. No shouting, no threats, no drama, just strategic patience and a well-placed suggestion. And he absolutely fell for it.
Suggestion, this fucking idiot was making outright, if you don't delete all of this stuff about, but he was like every accusation is a confession. This man is the most chronic pathological projector I have ever seen. Oh my god. And also as well, I just wanted to cater to the chat. We've got all right, okay, so I'm gonna be polite and I'm not gonna call them stupid. I'm not gonna call them you're fucking stupid. I'm sorry, I tried. So you already conceded they should apply for asylum in France, but you've invented some fantasy reason why they can't. No, you fucking moron. Nobody said that they should apply for asylum in France. What I said was we used to have agreements, the Dublin Agreement. So pre-Brexit, okay. So for the people in the back, before Brexit, we used to have a legal agreement whereby they would be processed in countries like France, and then they would be, if successful, would come over to the UK, which is why we didn't have problems with hotels or people arriving on our shores way back when, right? Pre-Brexit, we didn't have that issue, did we? No, because now though, we do because of Brexit, because we've lost all legal access to all of those facilities, to that infrastructure, to everything else. And we've not had a government that's been able to reinstate any of those agreements or do any of that, you know, because Brexit means Brexit, right? Right now, when it comes to this here, right? So I will come back on there. We'll leave that one up for a bit, but like, wrong bit. Nobody said that they should be applying. We're saying that they used to be able to. There is no fantasy. We're talking logic, fact, and what is actually happening. It is 100% factually correct to say that they're arriving at our shores because we lost all those agreements. And yeah, those agreements would be useful and it would cut out a lot of problems that we're facing right now, right? And by problems, I mean wankers outside hotels making a fucking tit of themselves. That's what I mean. It would stop people like Mr. In Between having to pretend that he knows better than the law and tell us all why it's secretly fucking, why it's all secretly some sort of mad, weird conspiracy and fucking, that, you know, everybody's lying to you. It's actually illegal and he knows it, but no one else can see it, despite, you know, the law. The human rights conventions that we're part of, the fact that we've ratified, you know, agreements and things into our own law, like it's these people just don't want to understand it, and so I'm done trying to teach them. I don't have crayons big enough. Yeah, it is. It's because of his name. So we are making the slow transition into Mr. Burke for that reason, because YouTube keeps holding it up, and it's a bit petty, but it is what it is.
I need to stop calling myself that. I guess, but you know, a lifetime, mate. Yeah.
And also,
I'll try harder. Tatus Knoweth. I will try.
How dare you? But yeah, and again here, more following up with more. He's doubling down on his fucking stupidity. You said France can refuse them if they say speak English or have family in the UK. That's
the same fella. Oh yeah.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same fella. I'm almost convinced this is Mr. In Between news. It's that same level of stupidity, isn't it? It's that same level of stupid. This is more than likely, in my opinion, there's no proof of this. This is probably Mr. In Between. If anyone has the relevant sized crayons, we need that big boy 16 pack. None of those little mess around 12 packs. We need the big boy shit here. Try and explain it to him, because I'm running out of ways of doing it apart from explaining to them how it works. I don't know how else to explain to them how it works. So yes,
well, I'm hoping after this we can safely ignore the twat. You know, I grant him his reply to it, of course. But
Absolutely,
after that, I'd just like to ignore him and crack on. I think we're a bit above and beyond this now, you know.
He's so beneath me. I can't explain. I am getting so, from reading this, right, I am getting so much secondhand embarrassment from being associated with this fucking out of touch fucking loser. Like this guy. I mean, look at the. Like no, we're not, but we are gonna commit to it today, because he was causing quite a bit of a stir and stuff like that. And I know I shouldn't feed the idiots, but I do. But look, God, yeah, Chief's channel is 5 days old. You may be right. You know what's interesting? That's around the time, around 4 or 5 days ago, this all started happening. Curiouser and curiouser. Soccer accounts. What an absolute daft fucking.
Don't you actually have a reputation to have it defamed? I think you find it's deformed, Mr. DeWitt. What do you know?
Exactly.
Okay.
So,
don't you actually have a reputation to have it defamed and to have said something to be provably not true? What statement is Mr. Dumbnuts claiming is not true?
None. He's claiming, sorry, not just none, but there was a couple. He's saying that he isn't far right, that he isn't racist, that he isn't bigoted, and that he isn't xenophobic. I have said that the things that he has said are very racist, very xenophobic, very bigoted. And as an example, he's advocated for removing the rights of access to benefits. I've seen him being like, they should never have had them in the first place on previous posts just a couple of months ago. The post that we looked at before, where he was saying that, he was advocating for more rights for one group of people, the in-group of people who were born here, but foreigners and stuff that are trying to claim asylum, they don't deserve the same human rights as everybody else. That, we've already been through that sort of stuff. What I didn't want to do, is talk about why it isn't defamation to tell the truth. I was just trying to see if the genuine criticisms that I've put up, because it's a fact, because when he does this stuff, I thought, this is a fantastic opportunity, not only to point and laugh at the fucking delusional workings of a madman, this fucking idiot. Not only is it really funny to look at, this guy who is dragging his knuckles across the intellectual fucking ground floor of reality, but also to
statement, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't even know if that
across the ground floor of what? Internet
reality. Don't look too much.
I'm going to give you 5 points for that. Well done.
No, I don't even know if that makes sense, but I'll take the 5 points. Fuck yeah.
Doesn't matter. It was good. Yeah. Mods, 5 points.
And again, Mr. In Between, and I'm going to start calling this, until proven otherwise, I am personally going to start calling this Mr. In Between. It's obvious that citizens have more rights than non-citizens. Okay, Not a single fucking person was saying that. What we're saying is that you cannot deny people's basic human rights. We're not talking about the liberties that are afforded to you from being born in a certain place. We're talking about your international human rights, the conventions that we've signed up to, Article 2 of the European Convention on Human Rights, that we are. We're going in circles. I'm repeating the same acts of law.
Back in about 10, 12 seconds.
Yeah, go do your thing. So yeah, and with Mr. In Between, I'm sorry, Ray, you're not, I don't think that you have the mental facilities to be able to understand it. We're doing that circle now where I'm going, oh, well, let's have a look at their rights. What human rights do they have? Those rights that you were trying to deny people, that you advocated to deny people. It's right, okay. Oh God! Do you know what? I was having such a laugh this morning, and then when he posted this thing here, it threw me for such a loop. Honestly, I was like, right, okay, I'm not going to talk about defamation law and all that other stuff because obviously it's not real. We were never going to address that because it was imaginary, it was made up, it was fucking baloney. It was never going to happen. It was fictitious. It was invented in his mind. It was a lie. And we knew it was a lie because he is a liar. It was misinformation. And we know it's misinformation. He's a peddler of misinformation. No solicitor in their right mind would ever take on a case like that because it's stupid. It made no sense. You might as well have said that you were going to sue me because I'm 5'7" or like that. It's stupid. It was never going to happen. But while we're talking about, since we're talking about the defamation and that, we might as well explain that.
Michael, sorry, I was just gonna point out Michael's comment. If only we could fucking agree not to sweat the small stuff and get together and go after the fucking people that we should. We could change our lives for the better. All of us could change our lives for the better. And then some certain people would have far less to moan about.
Oh, absolutely. Exactly. Versus 5'7". But yeah, it's exactly as stupid as that. Like, he might as well. And then to run around and be like, "Ha, that really showed him. He's fucking well stupid, isn't he?" No, Ray, you are. He's fucking. He thinks he's a genius. If he is a genius, right, then he must be a genius who's hiding in the shell of an absolute fucking moron. Like,
when you say like he thinks he's a genius, we occasionally say that about people, I know, but this chap actually does. I mean, he really does. He's such a high opinion of himself. I can't cope. I just can't cope.
No, absolutely. But like back to the defamation stuff. So obviously we knew it was never going to go anywhere. It was a baseless 3 a.m. threat of legal action and subsequent ultimatums, like a truly narcissistic control freak. I would hate to be anybody even remotely close to them. I bet he does it all the time. I bet this red flag that we're seeing here isn't unique to just his internet life. I bet there's people around him that are constantly being told, if you don't do this, I will make things difficult for you this way. I'll ruin your life. I'll do it. Because that's what he was trying to imply, that he had the power to do, which of course we laughed off because we're not as stupid as he is. And again, not stupid with double O, right? That's what level of stupid he is. But yeah, so it was only ever designed to prevent dissent from smaller creators like ourselves who point out the bleeding fucking obvious. It's a really common tactic, especially on YouTube. And for obvious reasons, it doesn't work most of the time because the law doesn't actually work that way. And we know it doesn't. So you can't actually say that. Again, Mr. In Between, like, what are you doing here? Should people who are in France, who are safe in France, risk their lives and their children's lives to cross the channels? Right, so when we said before this, right, okay, someone get the crayons out again, right? I'm gonna say this slowly so you understand it. If you are not allowed to claim asylum in France, you will starve. That also means you cannot get benefits. You cannot get a job. You cannot get work, which means you cannot get a home. You will not have shelter. Your children will be outside in the rain. You will have no food to feed them, no clothes to put on their back, no home to warm them in, no heating to heat that home. You'll have nothing. You have nothing. But if you have a genuine case for asylum in the UK, then you are allowed, under international law, to come to the UK by irregular means to get asylums. Oh my God, I said asylums. His stupidness is contagious. Why aren't they allowed to claim asylum in France? Again, for many reasons. Perhaps you've got a connection to England. Perhaps
Maybe
you
they
were
don't
a
speak
former
French.
colony. So
Maybe
if you
their
were a
family
former,
doesn't speak French. Maybe their relatives are in England. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of reasons.
so let's say, for example, you come from a former British colony, right? You grew up with English as your first or maybe second language, but you speak it quite well. It's a language of your nation. Let's say that relatives have gone to the UK and they live there now, right? Okay. Right, okay, now, thrown out there, yes, it does. It can, and in lots of circumstances does. Now, what you're doing is denying reality. This is where the stupid is. You're having to invent things that aren't real to fit your worldview. A connection to New England doesn't stop them claiming in France. If your whole family, let's say you got
How do
family
you know
members
that? How does he know that? I mean, how do you know that thing? Having a connection in England doesn't stop them claiming in France. How do you know that?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually bring up the exact law and I'm going to quote it. And again, I'm foreshadowing. It will not stop this person from saying stupid stuff or putting words in my mouth. So after this, we're going to move on, Mr. In Between, because I don't have the skills necessary to be able to explain basic things to you, you fucking idiot. Nobody said that. Right, what I said was, so for many reasons, maybe you've got connection to land. That could be, among lots of other things, speaking English. It may be that you've worked in England before and you know the area. It may be that you've got family in the area. It may be that you've worked with the British overseas before and they have a special duty to you. It may be that you have all of these things, and all of that stuff, having that connections to other places means that you can't then have asylum in other areas. Depending, if you have no connection to the land, that's quite important, having connection to the land. Which is why lots of people have to make that journey. Do you honestly think that they would drag their children into the channel, leave their families sometimes on shores, and do all that stuff just for minimum wage? Is that what you seriously think's happening? Like, these people are fucking lunatics, man. Absolutely fucking lunatics. Right, so 1 second. I'm going to get this up now. I'm typing away. I don't know if you can hear me furiously typing. Right, okay, so there you go. So France, like other European countries, do not have to automatically examine every asylum claim made in its territory. If there is evidence that there is another safe country that could be responsible for you, a country that you have connections to, France can refuse the process of claim and transfer responsibility there. Now, that is what happens. Oh, most are economic migrants. Now, okay, so I'm citing the source. This is coming from DirectGov, right? This is the law. The law says what the responsibility rules are, yeah? The law is listing it out. My source is the law. Can you prove in any way, shape, or form that most asylum seekers are in fact economic migrants, you racist, dirty piece of shit? You can just tell by looking at them. They're black, so they must be. He's got dark skin, he must be this. Oh my God. Make up your mind. Economic migrants, so coming here to work. But I thought you argued they just scrounge benefits. Just ignore him. Absolutely. I'm sorry. Mr. In Between News has had far too much distraction from the stream about Mr. In Between News. So let's get back to it. So the original point that I was trying to make was we were talking about defamation laws. And to make it really easy for the people in the back, this is how, from the very get-go, from the first time he mentioned it, this is how we knew that it was absolute bullshit and he was lying to both his audience, trying to manipulate people, trying to control others' actions, all this dishing out ultimatums. We knew exactly what it was from the get-go, because defamation laws made easy in the UK are not, it is, you made me look bad. It is, you lied about me in a way that caused me serious and provable harm. So, obviously we didn't take that obvious. We've told no lies. We simply haven't. So we never took it because we know what we've written. We know what I've said. We know what's been posted. And we stand by every single one of those posts, every single statement that we've made. We stand by all of them. We wouldn't have made it otherwise. Courts in this country do not protect people from criticism, especially criticism that's aimed at their outright discriminatory, divisive, and inflammatory views or misinformation that they themselves publicly publish. More importantly, with nearly 20,000 subscribers, this guy, for want of a better phrase, he is a public figure, and public figures should expect scrutiny. They are not above criticism. No matter how much Mr. In Between News wants to be, Ray, you are not above criticism, and expect more of it, because it's going to keep coming. Our entire channel, like I said, has been framed around highlighting and discussing public figures and networks whose ideology and content align with far-right ideology, specifically those that push anti-asylum sentiment, and even more specifically, far-right orders. That's what our content is. That's what we do. So Ray definitely falls in that purview. We are more than allowed to do this. It's protected by UK law. We have rights. It's a thing. It's weird, isn't it, how the free speech absolutist is suddenly trying his best to pretend and weaponize an imaginary legal trial and a legal, whole event and stuff, telling me how expensive it is and all of this, to try and manipulate and put an element of fear into me, because he is a manipulating, narcissistic piece of shit. He's doing all of that to try and control and influence the content that my dad and I make, with all these lies of weaponizing. It's a pathetic and desperate, flailing attempt at being a dick, and mission accomplished. Honestly, what a prick. I
just want to say, I might have to keep bouncing on and off, because my son has arrived, and then he's nipped out again to go and get some grub. But you know what the dog's like; he goes nuts every time.
Yeah, so, no, it's fine, Dad. It's fine.
I might have to keep disappearing to calm the bloody dog down. He's an idiot. Anyway, yes, he's like flipping Mr. Butt Cheeks here. He's an idiot. That's my dog, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. But but the whole thing that we really wanted to impress on you, because this is what's going to happen next. Okay, this is Mr. In Between News is going to. So just to start from the beginning again, he's not like some of the things that we've said, where we said, look, what you said is objectively racist. Your framing of asylum seekers constantly as illegals is not only legally and factually incorrect, right? Not only is it, factually legally incorrect, but it is also racist. It is a trope, right? It's attributing criminality to an entire group of people, not because they've committed any crime, because they haven't, not because they've got conviction, because they haven't in this country. It doesn't work like that. It's based on where they are or where they are not from. It's openly bigoted, it's xenophobic, it's all three of them. It is. To call them invaders is also a racist trope, all right? We know that what we're doing is more than accurate. We totally understand that, and that your willful misinterpretation, your willful stupidity of everything doesn't make any sense. So what we've done is when he's made that level of misinformation, whether he's misrepresenting law, whether he's misrepresenting asylum laws, whether he's misrepresenting human rights, whether he's misrepresenting entire groups of people, whether he's advocating for the removal of rights based on where people are or are not from, their basic human rights, their right to safety and everything else. When he does all that, we pick him up on it and we talk about it, because that's what we do as a channel. Mr. In Between News, if there was a Venn diagram of all these sort of channels, if there was a Venn diagram of what we look into and what Mr. In Between produces, there is such a huge overlap that naturally we were going to be talking about him. So then he's pretended and invented a legal case. This is what's happened now. I'm doing a rundown of what's happened, and we're going to lean into what's going to happen next, all right? So he's made these legal threats in no uncertain terms. It's going to be expensive. That those were his words. This is the expensive learning route and everything else. These are things that he said. He said that, I will sue you, and when I say I will, I mean I will. So he's really doubled down on that lie. He's trying to bluff his way through, trying to manipulate us, his audience, and everybody else that will listen.
I was played out trying to bully you, trying to shut you up. It's what was it? I've heard it described as, was it stop? Something to do with
a slap.
Slap. Now, what does it stand for? I've forgotten.
Oh, it's goodness. A slap.
I'll bet one of our mods knows it.
Yeah, I was looking at it before. It's SLAPP.
Well.
I've got it written down on notes. Bear with me. But it's basically a slap lawsuit. I can't remember what it stands for exactly off the top of my head. I'm hoping someone can quickly Google it for me. But the idea is that you can try, and he was trying to threaten me with this old idea that, when you get dissent from either journalists or small content creators or things like that, double P. Cheers, Jim. I really appreciate it. I know you're Googling there. Yes, yeah, it's a legal way of explaining strategic lawsuit against public participation. So it's basically a lawsuit that will go nowhere, but will drown people in litigation and costly lawsuits because you can't get legal aid for defamation cases and things like that. It's a civil matter and stuff. So the idea is you get a solicitor, you get together, get some insurance on you, you get your AT insurance and things like that. So it's minimal cost for everybody all around. You take a person to court, and because that process can take years to do, it would then what do you call it? How do I describe it? It would then just drain you mentally, financially. It's a process designed to crush you under the weight of a slow and broken legal system. And if you've got the money to do it, which Mr. In Between Bus Stations doesn't, then you can, or even if you get particularly shady, no win, no fee thing, you can do that. Well, that's what he was threatening. He was implying he was going to do this slap style lawsuit with others to try and drown us in litigation, to try and crush dissent, to control what we were saying. And we saw it again in no uncertain terms. We saw the ultimatums. We saw the options he was giving us, right? He's trying to dictate what happens on ACOB, right? But you can't dictate what happens on ACOB. We stand alone and we saw what it was, right? We knew.
Even we can't dictate what happens on it. No.
We have no idea where any of this is going. So, yeah, obviously, right, we knew from the off, just like anybody, any reasonable, honest human being with a brain knew that it was never going to happen from the very first 3 a.m. fucking possibly drunken rambling that he did about getting a solicitor, and then he kept doubling down. But it's embarrassing, isn't it, when you threaten someone with litigation, you threaten someone with something that you can't follow through with, and then they call you bluff and laugh in your face, right? So we started to embarrass him, like not intentionally to embarrass him. We just found it particularly funny, so we started to be like, look at what this fucking idiot is, and in today's things that are never gonna happen. It's stupid. God, it was never gonna happen. But because it's so embarrassing, he had to double down and pretend again. He was pretending that we were panicked. He was trying to manipulate his audience into believing that we were scared, we were frightened, and that accountability was on its way. He was going to sue, and that we're flailing and everything terrible is going to happen, and that he's what such a powerful and influential person I am. No, none of that. You know what I mean? Which is weird from the free speech absolutist crowd. Free speech for thee, but not for me, or however it goes the other way around. But yeah. So that's where we got to there. Now that he's realised that we're not backing down, that we are going to keep, logically, we are going to keep highlighting behaviour like that as and when we see it, because not only do we have the right to, but it is what we do. That is our content. It's why we're growing at the rate we are. It's why we're doing such a good job. It's what we're good at, and we're going to continue to do so. Once he realised that. And he realised that, the stream was going to go ahead. We were going to talk about what a fucking idiot he was. We were going to talk about why any solicitor would laugh him out of a fucking office, why no judge would ever look at it, why why this litigation only exists in his mind. He then is trying to save face. He's gone on the defensive and he's going, this was actually all part of a master plan, you see. I was just trying to get them to look at me and not auditors. What? What a weird, strange, asinine lie to make up. People can see what that is. Well, I mean, not his audience. Most of his audience don't. And most of the audience that are left. So of the minority of the audience that actually engage with him, most of them don't fucking, some of them that are left believe this sort of weird stuff. And it's strange. So my predictions, that's what's happened. My predictions for what's going to happen next is he's going to run around claiming victory. He's going to, checkmate, I won. He's going to tip the chessboard over and fuck off and, throw shit at the wall and claim that that's his victory, right?
Right.
That's what he's going to do next. He's going to be like, I totally got to them. When the reality is you're like a gnat at a barbecue. It's fucking, at this point now, I'm like embarrassed that I'm talking about him. I'm like, this guy is it's cringe. I feel embarrassed for him. Like, how does he not get it? Like, it is honestly making me cringe that we're talking about him. Oh my God, what a fucking Looney Tune. So that's, to be honest, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. We've kind of gone through it. There was something else also, because I spent ages counting, just for the sake of being factually. I wanted to mention. Sorry, Dad, one sec. I was just going to say I wanted to mention the sort of numbers and stuff. So in the 4 months that I've spoken to Ray, since I've ever mentioned Ray, there have been 13 13 or 14 mentions of Ray. Sounds like, thinking over a 14-month period. That's in, 217 posts and stuff like that. But in a 2-month period, Ray has done about 15 or 16 posts that were directly aimed at us in half the amount of time. This guy is going to now tell you how, I'm living in their head rent-free and all this. I annoyed them to the point where they addressed it. And so that's some sort of victory. This man has been doing this obsessively, stalkishly for months. And in short periods of times, he's dropped more than nearly a dozen and a half of these mental, random, detached he's constantly, as well, to try and gain clout, he's constantly trying to get me to go up on his panel all the time, like, without actually directly saying. It's like, well, if whoever this is related to wants to turn up, I'll be there, and I'm going live at such and such a date. Anyone's welcome, and I mean everyone. And it's like, no, Ray, I still don't want to talk to you. I still don't want to. I can't believe I know him. It's so embarrassing. If people in the future now, if someone says to me, "Oh, do you know that Mr. In Between?" No, I don't. No, I'm gonna say what Ray said when I asked to show him evidence. No. Don't you know what no means? Oh God.
Now? No means now. Now?
No.
No. Yahweh. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Also,
yes, Jim, speak. Time should have been spent fucking reading books. When we were in school, he must have been fishing. That's all I can say. Obviously, we were years apart, but you know what I mean.
No,
do you? Probably not. So, I do want to just place one reminder, right, to our fucking Mr. Butt Cheeks, Mr. Between My Butt Cheeks. I just want to remind him that we did ban him off this channel so that we wouldn't have to fucking deal with him. And that was months ago. Just fuck off, man. Over to you, Rick.
And it looks like the dude's even now reaching out on fucking sock accounts and stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, honest to God, like, it's this level of cringe, this level of like, and like we say, every accusation is a projection. He does this thing as well where I've never once mentioned, like, I don't talk about, like, I've noticed there's a trend with some people who are maybe insecure about their own capabilities or whatever, will sometimes try and target me in a very strange way where they go like, you're not so smart after all, or, oh, I bet you thought that you were. And it's this weird thing where they project their own insecurities and their own shortcomings onto me. Like, I never said that I was smart or intelligent or like an intellect, but you have said that several times. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody even came close to saying that. Nobody attempted to say it. It was never implied. And yet, individuals like Mr. In Between will constantly do this. It's so revealing. They do this form of like sort of dry snitching where they God, it's so weird. It's so weird.
David Scaffrey, I'm sorry I let you down. Just as you were writing that, I was having a rant. I do apologize. I apologize, mate. It wasn't purpose. It was coincidentally. Yeah. This thing, what, Chief? What's he on about? They've already passed through.
Devoted. Like, it's this weird thing, right? And so, like I said,
it's what? Has your thing gone?
They're original. Can you hear me?
You only now I can. We just missed half a dozen or so.
Don't worry about it. My internet was playing up. Don't worry. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
All right. There is a wicked delay.
Cool.
So, can anyone in the chat? Can you guys hear me? Oh, right. Okay. So, just for 1 second. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly reload my page. I'm going to come right back into it. Dad, if you can just look through the chat. Try and avoid what we think to be Mr. In Between's sock account, please. Because for the main reason of he's not. What they're doing is they're doing this really stupid thing where instead of trying to learn something, instead of going, okay, so they do have a legal right to be able to travel from France to the UK. You are still legally defined as an asylum seeker. That is how the legal process works. Rather than admitting that. They don't know. Okay, right, I'm going to reload the page then. Never mind. Right, I'm going to reload the page. You take 10 to the chat.
Oh, go on. Go reload your page. Oh, he's wonderful, isn't he, boys and girls? Isn't he one? He's just so... Oh, he's just marvellous. So, yeah, that's about it for our Ray. I really hope he just realises he's looking in the wrong place. Because he's only going to look stupid here.
Yo!
Who are you?
Who are you? What's going on here?
What do you want? What do you want?
I don't know if it was you or whoever, but I remember being really small and someone playing that trick. This was like before viral stuff, where you walk into a room as a kid and they're like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, they've forgotten me."
Okay.
Give the flashbacks to the 90s, and no, yeah. So like, I just, I don't know if my audio is everything all right. Can people in the chat let me know? I know that my dad's audio is flickering as well, but yet for a moment, then came back. You can also hear a flickering noise, but I don't know if it's my headphones though.
What's flickering?
Yeah.
Don't you accuse me of flickering?
But so this is the thing as well though. So if we can get people to a place where they accept that they have the right to be able to do this, they have the right to be able to.
Stop there.
I know, I saw it, and that's why I know. I'm so sorry, Dad. I love you loads. I'm going to stop doing things in my own head, and I'll just let you know what I'm thinking. We're going to stop highlighting Mr. In Between's chats, because it gets us nowhere, and it detracts from the main point of what we're actually talking about. So what I was going to do is sort of inadvertently say that if we can get people to accept that they have the right, that legally they are classed as asylum seekers, that is the law, that is how the process works, then that's the end of it. Because for the longest of times, this person was trying to imply that it wasn't the law. In fact, they didn't just imply it, they said it directly on multiple occasions, that was a lie, that this is not true, and that the law is actually something else, and then proceeded to give loads of people loads of misinformation. So it's a bit racist to say that, just on the look of people, we don't think that they're genuine asylum seekers just based on, their appearance. That's okay. I mean, that's, it's still a bit racist, I guess, but there's layers to it. He's not, that's something that, that's an argument for another time with another person that isn't me. What I've always been interested in, and the only exclusive reasons we've ever highlighted Mr. In Between, is not because we want to cause him reputational harm. It's not because we want to cause him personal harm. It's not because I want to label him as something because I disagree with him. It's because he regularly, routinely posts xenophobic misinformation that is heavily steeped in far-right tropes, racist talking points, and bigoted worldviews. Those I will always pick up. I will always say that is wrong, because that is what we do. That's what we've always done. And sorry, Dad. But
no, it's okay. The dogs are just about to kick off. I think they've heard him coming back or something. Or they heard somebody coming back. Right. So
and no, don't worry.
With him, I've seen my house with him. He's a nut, is he? He thinks he's so fucking clever.
He's a pest. Yeah,
he's
just a pest, and just a.
He thinks he's educated because he's like, well, I've read a book or two now on this, so I know everything about it. It's like, God, fucking belief. Anyway, he's full of shit, and that's official. And that's all I got to say about that.
Absolutely, yeah. And for anyone that's saying that it's not, we're attributing criminality, we're incorrectly calling them invaders when we know they're not, when we call them illegal when we know they're not, and we accept that the law, they're not illegal, when we do that racist stuff, is, when people do that, it is based on things like appearance, nation of origin, because there is no other logical basis that you can make that from. It doesn't work like that. So again, just to wrap up, and we are going to wrap up pretty soon, this whole stream has been a bit of a, it's been a bit here and there. It's been a bit scatterbrained, just because there's, when you're dealing with people that aren't basing things in reality, things do get a bit confusing. So there's a lot of different talking points. We may have covered some things twice, but ultimately this dude in no uncertain terms made the most ridiculous, most laughable claims. And by doing this, what we wanted to do was not only say that what we said is true and all that, but we wanted to do it in a way that points out that everything that you've heard from him, not only the racist misinformation and everything else, but the lawsuit and the subsequent all these other lies, they are lies. And if he's lying to you about this, what else is he lying about? We've already proven categorically that that he is the things that he said he wasn't. He does make misinformation and pretend things and misrepresent things in a way that they are to fit his own worldview. And this is, again, isn't to cause reputational damage or anything like that. That's because this is what we do. We highlight those sort of bigots. We highlight that sort of rubber. It's what we do. It's what we'll always do, and we'll always stick by it. There was never going to be any lawsuit. Nobody was ever panicked. Nobody believed it. And nobody will believe it. It was unbelievable. It doesn't make any sense. I am embarrassed that we ever spoke about him in the first place. I can't believe that we actually even fucking know this individual. On that, god damn.
What? Put down.
Yeah, just goddamn. That's it. We will be back tomorrow. 100%. We have got a stream planned for tomorrow. Join us again at 5 o'clock on a.
Thank you so much for putting up with us tonight.
We will be
saying. You guys in the chat have been really entertaining as well. Thank you very much for being here and for doing your thing. It's been a great chat. I've had a couple of chuckles and quite a few good tellings. So it's been really cool. Enjoyed it. Cheers, guys.
Did you hear anything, Dan? I think your internet's a bit dodgy.
I've been talking. I was talking. What's up with you?
We didn't hear any of it. Sorry.
All right.
And you've cut out. Yeah. You keep cutting out. That I don't know if it's your signal or whatever, but we're gonna wrap up and say goodbye now. Our internet's are failing. North Star, guys.
Love and peace.
Stay safe. Catch you later.
Love and peace. Can you hear me? Love and peace? No. Okay.